HCAM TV.
All right. Well, I don't know what happened there with that intro, but in any case, you are tuned into HCAM Sports Talk, and we are live today. And joining us on the show, we have head coach of Hopkinton Hillers baseball, Steven Simos. Coach, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Excited for the postseason, and we have a lot of Hillers teams in the postseason. Pretty much every one of them are in a postseason spot. And the baseball team had a great year. They went 12-3. Tremendous season by you guys. And I know it must have been a little bit difficult for you getting into the season with a lot of new players on the roster. And you had some experience with some of them in summer ball last year, but how was it transitioning into the season this year?
The transition was easy from a team perspective. The COVID protocols and all the various changes were the biggest challenge at the beginning. Getting used to following all those protocols and rules and making sure health and safety was the priority. That was a little challenging at the beginning with distancing and having to change everything we had done previously, on a day-to-day basis. But in terms of the team, our kids always make it kind of easy. We have really compliant kids. And it was very strange. It's been a very strange year. I said to my classes and to my players that I'll always feel a little bad about this year that they never got a real experience or a typical experience, either on the baseball field or in the classroom. It was so different, and a lot of it had to do on the field with the fact that only four of these kids I had ever coached before. In high school, and they were only sophomores, so they were not the leaders on the team, and they had to assume leadership roles. And 17 kids I had never coached before, so there was a lot of learning this year on both sides, kids and coaches.
And obviously, the team performed very well, finishing the season 12-3, and they seem to have great chemistry. What was it like coaching this group?
Yeah, they had great chemistry. They did very well. It's strange because we were better in areas that I didn't know that I didn't expect us to be very good in, and we were not as good in areas that I expected us to be very good in. So there's how much I know. But their chemistry was great, and they seemed to really enjoy being around each other, which is half the battle. If you have a team that likes being out there, it just makes the experience that much better. So, and they did follow my lead. I told them I used the term veteran in place of old coach. And I've never been much of a rah-rah type of atmosphere person. So they're a quiet group, and they just kind of went about their business every day. And they were really fun to be around. They still are. It's not over yet.
Absolutely. I know you got to practice after we talk today. What are you going to be working on to get ready for the playoffs?
Our focus is definitely going to be on, we had a meeting yesterday, and we talked about the things we did well and the things we did poorly. And surprisingly, very surprising, based on our history and what I expected these guys. We didn't hit well, but we played really good defense. We pitched great, and we're not a very fast team. I would go out so far as to say we're a very slow team, and but we ran the bases extremely well. So we did all the things that a coach looks for, the little things, very well. I just need. I think the area that we can improve if we're going to win any games in the tournament is we have to hit better. So that's going to be our focus. We got people coming in to pitch to our kids. We brought a machine out. We're going to try to see velocity in practice to try to get them geared up. Division II South is loaded with really special pitchers. So in order to win any games in this tournament, you're going to have to beat a pitcher that's going to be going on to pitch in college. Some teams have multiple Division I prospects. So yeah, we're going to need to hit and somehow figure that out over the next few days.
I'd say Division II South has to be one of the toughest brackets in the state. Every year, it just seems like it's loaded with tremendous teams from the first seed to the 8th seed, and it's been the most unpredictable bracket. If you're looking at the seeding, there's been a lot of upsets in this bracket.
Yeah, I'm happy we're in it. It's really a good. It's really good competition. It doesn't matter. We're seeded 4th. We may play a team that I expect us to play. Duxbury, who knocked us out a couple of years ago, had 2 kids, one pitching at Army, one pitching at Boston College, and they won their Patriot League tournament this year in high school. So Duxbury is, it doesn't matter that we're 4 and whatever they happen to be. They're in a high quality league. So every game is a huge challenge.
Absolutely. And Josh Fisher, he's pitched tremendous this year. He's been the ace of the team, and he pitched an unbelievable game against a very talented Norwood team last Wednesday. And there was times that he seemed to get maybe a little frustrated in the game, but he just started throwing harder and got through a couple of jams in that game. Can you talk about his performance throughout the season?
Yeah, Josh is remarkable because his on-field demeanor and his off-field demeanor are completely opposite. He's like just a kind of a sweet, happy-go-lucky kid off the field, but when he toes the rubber, he has a lot of. I've been calling him a bulldog since his sophomore year. He is ultra competitive. He loves having the ball. I don't think that many people realize. I have a pretty good historical perspective of Hopkinton baseball prior to my arrival and and I'm entering my 30th year. I would challenge anybody to tell me if there's been a more successful pitcher in the history of Hopkinton baseball. He's never lost a baseball game other than the state championship finals as a sophomore. That's pretty good. He is ultra competitive, and just whether he has his good stuff or he doesn't, you always have a chance to win when he pitches. So as good as some of the arms we're going to see when Josh is on the mound, we have a chance, have a chance. He's had an amazing career.
He certainly has, and he's a lot of fun to watch as well. And of course, that state championship game you mentioned, I believe that was what, a 1-0 final?
Yeah. So that's that'll always haunt me that we couldn't find a way to push across a couple of runs. I always blame it on my son because all he had to do was hit one fly ball and we could have won. So I could scapegoat my own child on that one. So.
And another great pitcher for you guys has been Vinny Purpura. He's had a great season as well and pitched a good game against Holliston. And he's been the second guy in the rotation. Can you talk about his performance this year?
Yeah, he's also been great. So Vinny was a freshman when we last had a season, and he's about 7 inches taller and 25 pounds heavier, and has really developed into a quality pitcher. He doesn't quite throw as hard as Josh, but presents some problems. He throws, 3/4 arm angle, and for a lefty, he's very difficult. So when he's on, he's as tough as it gets. So very serious kid, hard worker, just an incredibly wonderful kid to coach. So he said he has to work on a few things before I don't think I'm going to use him in relief. I think that's what we talked about today. I think we're going to hope that we can find a way to win game one, and he'll be our starter in game two.
I'd say it's a pretty good 1-2 punch there with Fisher and Purpura. And another player who has performed tremendously this season is Dylan Locke. He's been terrific with the bat. Can you talk about his performance?
Yeah, Dylan's been a rock. What was interesting is we were talking about how we were so loaded behind the plate, like I've never been in my entire career. We had 4 high quality catchers. So my concern was how to give each of them some time. Well, it took care of itself. One player decided not to come out for the team. One was hurt and has missed the entire year, and the other has had to fill in elsewhere. So Dylan has basically caught every inning of every game. We actually communicated today that I want him to kind of rest his body over the next few days to make sure he's ready to go. He's done an incredible job. I think we've only given up about 4 stolen bases all year. He's thrown out more than he's given up, and does a great job with the pitchers and has been our best hitter by a long shot. He's really carried us with the bat.
Absolutely. And I understand he's not initially from Hopkinton High School.
Yeah, he came from St. Mark's. So I'm really, really happy he returned to the high school. Just a joy to coach. And yeah, he played his freshman year at St. Mark's. Decided to come back to the old town team.
Yeah, he's tremendous. One of the best catchers I've seen. That he's just so consistent behind the plate. I was thinking of a certain play that happened the other day. I believe it was Norwood, where it was a great throw in from I believe it was Cam Mulvaney, and Locke just laid the perfect tag to get the out to end an inning.
Yeah.
So you have some new faces on this team, such as I believe this was Cam Jarrett's first year on the team.
No, so Cam is one of our 4 returning players and one of our 4 captains. So Cam, Ronnie Seamus, Josh, and Connor Kelly were our 4 sophomores on the 2019 team. And late in the season, actually, Nick Paharik joined us. So really 5 guys. He was only a freshman. So 5 guys are from that team. So Cam is, he was basically an outfielder reserve on that team, and has been our starting second baseman, obviously, this year.
So sorry, go ahead.
No, he's played a lot of shortstop as well.
Yeah, he's been a great asset to this team. Who out of the new guys has really impressed you this season? I know I'm kind of throwing you in the fire here.
Yeah, well, they're all new, so they've all done a great job. We have seniors as well that aren't new. They were in the program. They were just never on varsity. So because as sophomores they were JV players, and they've that class has been just remarkable because normally by senior season, kids feel there's a kind of a rite of passage that they have starting positions, but we have 9 seniors. We kept all of them, and they've embraced their roles like incredibly. We have a couple of kids today, 3 kids today: Parker Hone, Garrett Morrissey, and Tyler Morse, who have all contributed throughout the year. But today, just to kind of show you the kind of kids they are, they're going to be throwing, pitching live to our other players from about 54 feet to simulate really high velocity. And that's something that it's not going to benefit them at all as seniors throwing from 54 feet, but it's their role, and they're going to help us better prepare for the tournament. incredibly, incredibly high character kids, high character group. Cam Mulvaney has been a rock in center field. He's been tremendous for us defensively. Um, and he was a JV player as a sophomore, and he's basically never been out of the lineup. Matt Cooper has won the left field job. Had a lot of playing time as a basketball guard, but he solidified his role. He's been fantastic. So you got those five kids and the four captains made for another awesome senior class.
They certainly did, and it's great that they have this team first mentality, and it certainly shows with how they perform on the field. I have to ask about Ronnie Sheamus. I know he's had issues with injuries, and he got a little shook up the other day. How is he doing? Is he going to be able to participate in the playoffs?
Yeah, Ronnie has been my one heartache from this year. I can't recall too many kids who have ever worked harder to prepare for a season. He earned himself a scholarship at Rollins College, which is a high profile baseball program, outstanding school in Florida. Battled in the weight room, got really big and strong, and he's probably going to catch in college and was going to play third and short for us and got hurt game one. So he hasn't been able to be on the field since the third inning of our first game. He is cleared now to hit. And the other day he pulled a hamstring running the first. So it's been a rough go for Ronnie. One of the most remarkable young men you could ever meet. And we're hoping against hope that he can be a DH in the tournament, give him an experience, a high school experience. He's going to have a great college career. He'll redshirt his first year at Rollins because he's going to be having surgery on his elbow. But he'll have a great college career. I just want him to have a little bit of a taste of senior year. He's worked so hard for it. And, it wouldn't surprise me if he steps up big time and does something special in the tournament with the bat.
Well, he has certainly been great with the bat, and hopefully he'll be able to overcome those injuries and get some opportunities to DH in the postseason. But Coach, I want to congratulate you on a tremendous year and winning the TVL Large. And we wish you the very best of luck in the playoffs. And we're looking forward to seeing who you guys will play. But I know you got to practice today, so we'll let you get to that. But thanks so much for joining us.
You have time for one comment?
Absolutely.
I want to clarify that we didn't win the Large. I want to give Medfield their due.
Oh, it was Medfield. I apologize. I was thinking of the softball team. They had covered them too much.
They had broken our little string, and they deserve it. They're the best team. And one other kid I definitely want to mention specifically is our final captain is Connor Kelly, who's going to UMass Lowell on a baseball scholarship. And I talked to his college coach today, and he asked me how he's doing. And I said he's doing great, but he's emerged as one of the most coachable, one of the best teammates I've coached in 30 years. So I didn't want this segment to go without him being singled out as the others had been.
Yeah, he has certainly been clutch with the bat. That's for sure. He's driven in a lot of runs this season. He's a great all-around player. Coach, thank you so much, and we're looking forward to the postseason.
Thank you, Tom. We'll see you soon.
See you soon. All right. Well, that was head coach of Hopkinton Hillers varsity baseball, Steven Simos. And he is about to go prep his team for the playoffs, which we're hoping soon that we will know where they will play and who they will play. I can tell you it'll most likely be a home game based on their record. They're likely to get a home game in the first round, but we will certainly get that information out to you when we know who they will play. We will post that on our website and our social media pages. But coming up very shortly on this show, we're going to have Andy Barron joining us, And we'll also have Jared Keene, and we'll talk about some of the other things happening in the sports world. And of course, we'll talk about the playoff seeding as well. But for now, we have the latest Hopkinton Hillers sports highlights for you. And this is fresh off the presses. So without further ado, here's the latest.
On June 9th, it was a 7-5 Norwood lead heading into the top of the fourth.
And this is up the middle, and here comes a run in to score. And now another run going to come in to score. It's an 11-5 game.
Norwood plates 6 more runs in the inning and takes the game 14-9. On Wednesday, June 9th, despite the umps showing up late, Hillers baseball hosted Norwood. The game started at approximately 7:40, a scoreless game heading into the bottom of the third.
And he gets a piece of this one. In the air it goes over to right center. That'll drop in. Here comes Waters around from third to score. It's 1-0 Hillers. An RBI single for Connor Kelly.
A 1-0 lead for the Hillers. They add more runs in the bottom of the fourth.
Wind up in the pitch, and he gets a good piece of this one over to left center, and that'll drop in for a big base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes another run, and now heading over to third, and now he's going to try to score, and here comes Dylan Locke to throw off the mark, and inside the park home run. Make that an inside the park grand slam, excuse me. He clears the bases and 4-run score.
You only hit those at wiffle ball in your backyard.
They don't have the fence out there, so there's really no home run to left center. So that ball just kept going.
And I'm not going to sing.
Clears the bases.
I'm not going to sing that song because I can't sing, but you can run for miles and miles and miles.
4 more runs score, and the Hillers end up taking the game 10-1 over Norwood. Earlier on June 9th, Hillers girls lacrosse hosted Medfield. Medfield took the game 18-7. On June 10th, Hillers baseball hosted a makeup game with Holliston. Hopkinton trailing 2-0, plated 3 runs in the bottom of the third.
There's a bunt, slow roller, fair ball, throw to first is over the head of the first baseman. Here comes Gone to score, and now trotting up to third is going to be Hone. He's going to try to score, and the throw to the plate is not in time, and we're knotted up at 2 apiece. Garrett Morrissey reaches on the errant throw. Gone and Hone both score. And he'll hit this one in the air. It'll drop into right field. Here comes a run to score. And he will score. Throw to second. Not in time. And Connor Kelly gives the Hillers the lead.
It remained a 3-2 game heading in to the bottom of the fifth.
Graveyard down there, right? Yes. Yeah. I park right where it's very conspicuous.
Runner taken off from first.
Gets away from the first baseman. And here comes Cooper. Gonna stand up at third, and Locke stands at second. 4 scores. Here's a ground ball into the hole at short and third, and no, not even close. O'Hara gets an infield hit. That scores a run. Double play depth. There's a pop-up into the outfield, and that is going to be caught by Israel. Throws home over the head of the catcher. Not in time. Dennison was there to back up the throw from Israel. Try to flip it to his catcher. Not happening. Run scores.
I'm going to give an error on that. That throw, first of all, he didn't even need to throw home. Could have threw it to the
Cutoff man or something.
right.
Hillers plate 3 more runs and would take the game 6-2. They celebrated senior night right after the victory.
With all the other teams, we try not to be let the score of the game dictate our level of into it. Right? So they've been remarkable. They've done everything we've asked. They've and the quality of the baseball they've had without the practice. 12-3 is a pretty good year. I've had a lot of seasons here. It's among the best seasons we've had after 15 games. 12-3 is pretty impressive with very, very few crazy mistakes and things like that, when most of what we've talked about and learned, it was just through conversation or the board or one-on-one conversations with our coaching staff. So I really want to thank half of my coaching staff. It's Kylie Murray, who's a guidance counselor, and what she's done for the program.
Hillers softball battled Holliston for the TVL Large title on Friday, June 11th. It was a 2-2 game heading into the bottom of the 5th.
Umlauf delivers, and is hit in the air, right side. That'll drop in. Rolls all the way to the fence. McCluskey heading to second, and she's aboard with a leadoff double. And rips this one up the left side. That'll trickle in for a hit. McCluskey around to score. And now Jurassic going to keep going over to second base. And she's aboard with an RBI double. But she's not going to keep him at bay here. That's ripped all the way to the fence. It goes. The lead runner, Jurassic, going to score. It's a 4-2 game, an RBI double for Tara Kester. And this is up the middle. That'll get in there for a base hit. Kester around to score, and that's all that'll score. And now the ball gets away from the catcher, and here comes DeSimone, and 2 runs will score. An RBI single for Morse. She advances to second on the throw. Umlauf certainly working up her pitch count so far today. As this is hit in the air, into right field it goes. Morse heads to third, and she is going to try to score, and the throw is cut off, and the Hillers played another run. It's a 7-2 game, an RBI single for Harrigan.
Hillers played 7 runs in the bottom of the 5th and would end up taking the game 11-3 and claiming the TVL Large title. They end regular season play with a record of 11 wins and 4 losses. We caught up with head coach Shannon Alberry and some of the players after the game.
Juliana, congratulations.
Hello, thank you.
On clinching the TVL Large Championship today. You came in relief of Charlotte Ken in the 5th inning.
Yes.
And pitched very well out there.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be a TVL Large champion?
It's crazy. We've been having a little bit of a slump, so to get back and get the win for the team feels really nice. So yeah.
And what's it been like playing with this group this season?
I love playing with these girls. I feel like we all gel together as one all the time, and we have no problem just having fun and playing softball. So that's good.
And a whole lot of Hillers hitting took place today. Can
Yep.
you talk about the Hillers offense today?
Yeah, we did an awesome job, like stringing together hits. We got like double on double, and it was awesome to see. So I thought the girls did great.
And I have to ask, after missing last season due to the pandemic, was it tough to transition back into softball, or were you ready to go?
Definitely. This summer I played a little bit of club, but it was just not the same. And last season will definitely be missed, but I think we're bringing it back, so I think it's good.
Well, it must feel pretty normal now, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's an everyday occurrence now.
Well, congratulations and best of luck in the playoffs.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Tara, congratulations on winning the TVL Large Championship.
Oh, thank you.
And you had a great game today. You went 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be a TVL Large champion?
It feels amazing. We worked so hard this season, and I just think it's just nice to have this title now as a team. So yeah.
Absolutely. What's it been like playing with this group?
It's amazing. It's so fun. All of us have been playing together forever, so it's so nice now to play together in high school. So yeah.
And did you have a tough transition after last season was missed due to the pandemic?
Like Juliana said, I played a little bit of club this summer, but it was definitely hard just to get back in the swing of things. But I think we all pushed each other, so I think that helped us out a lot. So yeah.
All right. Well, you got back into the swing today for sure, going 2 for 4. We wish you the best of luck in the playoffs, and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Caroline, congratulations. How does it feel to be a TVL Large champion?
Thank you. Oh, it's great. I was so excited for the season coming in, and it was just everyone gelled so great together, and it's just the best feeling.
And what's it been like playing with this group? It seems you girls have a lot of fun out there.
Oh, it was so fun. I played with a bunch of them when I was 10, 11 years old, and it's just so exciting to be back out here again.
And was it tough getting back into softball after last year was canceled due to COVID?
No, I never really had a break, to be honest. I played club throughout the whole summer and everything, so I was excited to get back out here with them. Yeah.
That's terrific. Well, you went 2 for 4 today, 2 runs, 2 RBIs. You had a great game. Could you talk about the offense today?
The offense, I think we were we just gelled together. We were all up on the fence together. We were just, even though in the beginning we weren't really getting runs a lot, we just worked together and kept pushing it until we broke it open.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations, and we're
Thank
hoping
you.
for a big, long playoff run.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you. And
Fingers crossed. Thank you.
Coach, congratulations, TVL Large champions. How does it feel?
Thank you. It feels awesome. The girls have worked so hard for this, and it's really nice to be able to celebrate with them today.
And what's it been like coaching this group this season?
This is they're the nicest group of girls that I've ever had. They work really well together. They support one another really well. They're always picking each other up, and it's just it's been really great.
And after a tough loss against Norwood, where pretty much nothing seemed to go right, everything went right today. Great offense, great pitching, great defense. It must feel good to see the team rebound like this.
Yeah, we had a long chat after the Medfield game and after the Norwood game, and we figured some things out, how to pull ourselves out of the slump, and today it was really great to see them be able to pull together everything and have a complete team win today.
And Coach, I know we've talked about this before, but it must have been quite interesting this season, coming into this season, because you didn't really know a lot of these players.
Right, yeah. I mean, even though we have 8 seniors, I didn't have very many returners this year. We had, the last time we played, our seniors were sophomores, and I think we only had 6 people that I had on my team returning. So it's been really great to get to know everybody, and even the girls who, or especially the girls who came up from JV, who've been working so hard over the last 2 years, and they're playing a really important role with us today. Jasmine Batika had that awesome relay from right field, and to get, I think it might have been Madison Umlauf out at third for that attempted triple, and she's grown so much and she's worked so hard. So it's been really great to have everyone on the team this year.
Absolutely. Well, we're hoping for a big playoff run and looking forward to it. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
And there you have it, the latest Hopkinton Hillers sports highlights. Big congratulations to the Hillers softball team on capturing the TVL Large Championship, a great win over Holliston the other day. But right now, I got Andy Barron and Jared Keene who will be joining me to talk about what's going on in the sports world. Guys, how are you? How's it going, Andy?
Hey, Tom, how are you? Enjoying this amazing, beautiful afternoon out there.
It certainly is. Weather pretty much doesn't get any more perfect than it is out there right now.
No.
So get outside if you can, folks.
Definitely will. After I'm done with you, I'm outside.
Absolutely. Jared, you with us? How are you doing?
Boom.
There you are.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Just awaiting the playoff seeds.
Yep.
They're being all released pretty much throughout the day. We're still waiting on baseball and a few other sports, but we do have some definites we could tell you about for at least the Hopkinton Hillers. The definites include softball will be playing Franklin this Friday, June 18th at 4 p.m. They'll host that game. Hopkinton are in the 10th seed. Franklin is the 23rd seed. It should be a good battle. And boys lacrosse, their first playoff game will be on Monday, June 21st at 6 p.m. at Wayland High School. They'll be taking on Wayland, who is the 4th seed. In wrestling, it'll be 6-seeded Algonquin heading to Hopkinton this Friday at 5 p.m. And it will be an outdoor wrestling match as long as the weather cooperates. That's Friday, June 18th, 5 p.m. for wrestling. 6-seeded Algonquin against 3rd-seeded Hopkinton. And what else? Boys tennis. They will host the 7th seed or the 10th seed. They'll host the winner of Plymouth South and Ashland. And they will play on Monday, June 21st. Time is still to be determined. The Hopkinton boys tennis team is the 2nd seed. And girls tennis, they will host 13th seeded Silver Lake. That's this Friday, June 18th. Hopkinton is the 4th seed in that one. So if we get any other Hillers seeding information during the course of the show, we'll certainly let you know. And we'll have all that posted on our website as well, hcam.tv, and our social media pages. And of course, we'll bring you as much of the live action as possible as well. So an exciting time. You guys ready for the playoffs or what?
Always.
And we got Legion Baseball starting right in the middle of it all, too. I think we're going to be pretty busy over the next few weeks.
Yeah. Have you done any outdoor wrestling, Tom? Have you seen any outdoor wrestling yet?
I have not. I have seen it. I've watched a little bit of it on YouTube. It looks pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool. I've only seen pictures.
Have you covered any?
No, I've only seen pictures. I saw some pictures from when Ashland was doing it at their place, and yeah, but it looks pretty cool.
It does. I like it. I like the idea, and you can fit more fans in there. You're not, crowded in a gymnasium, especially for tournaments. Because some of those tournaments, you get like 6 or 8 teams, and you have a lot of people that want to watch it. Yep. I think it's a pretty good idea, but you can't really do it in the winter, though.
No. You gotta have the right weather for that, for sure.
It's just so weird that everything's starting so late, and this is going to be like I'm telling you, this kind of reminds me a little bit of an NCAA tournament. Boom, this thing's over in 2 weeks. I mean, and it has to be done by July 3rd. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. That's when it stops. I just looked today. I believe the South Division 1 for softball has 27 teams in it.
27 teams. That's
I think they added extra teams too. I think they.
But I was stunned when I saw this. Now we know this was an opt-in, but I'm like, that is way too many teams. I mean, now if you look at like the wrestling, it's is wrestling only sectionals, or do they do state? Are they doing states as well? Because it only had the sectional seeds. I don't know.
I'm not sure if they're doing individual states this year.
You might be right on that, Jared. I'm not sure. I think
I'm not sure if they're doing individual states.
Might just be teams.
I didn't even think they were doing the playoffs until I started seeing the seeds being released. I'm like, oh, all right.
But
they're doing wrestling.
I was like, wow. Like I can understand maybe 15, 16, which is kind of the normal. That is a lot of teams. Like you said, what if you have rainouts? What if you have
Yeah.
problems. I mean, where are you going to make these games up? I mean,
Again, yeah, especially like you said, they have to be done by a certain date. I mean, that's going to be tricky.
And of course, for the baseball brackets, they have everything posted but the South. So still waiting on the South.
That's where the most teams are. The South is just low. They have
loaded, always.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking to Coach Simos earlier, and Hopkinton's in the South Division 2 bracket, and what a tough bracket that is. And he was saying there's a number of Division 1 quality pitchers in that bracket. But the South, that is certainly some competitive brackets, to say the least. But they should be out at some point today. So keep an eye on our website, hcam.tv, for the Hillers stuff. And if you're interested in other teams, check out Jared over at the Metro West Daily News. I'm sure they'll be releasing some stuff as well. But anyways, guys, so kind of not a fun playoff run this year for the Bruins. I mean, they beat Washington and then just really kind of just get crushed by the Islanders. So my question to you is, should Tuukka go bye-bye? Because I think it's time to part ways with Tuukka.
Yes. This team needs to make major changes. I mean, if you want to compete for a Stanley Cup, this team is not good enough. It's just period. I mean, they're not good enough. And it was so evident in this series. They were outcoached. They were outplayed by the Islanders. And, games 5 and 6 were really not good. I mean, after game 5, I had a feeling in my stomach that, like, this series is over. It just did not feel right. Look, I mean, you have to make changes. They're not good enough. I mean, it's just, I tell it like it is. And, even in the upper management, it all starts from the top. But Don Sweeney's really been getting called out a lot these last 2 weeks. And then Bruce Cassidy starting Tuukka Rask. I mean, Rask, yeah, he's a good goalie, but he's not going to ever take you to the promised land. He's not Tim Thomas. And I think I said that last week. He's just not going to turn it up a notch when they need to. There are some guys in this team they have to cut ties with. It's just they have to, but on the positive side, I thought David Pastrnak, in my opinion, was the best player on this team during the postseason. Yeah, really good postseason.
Absolutely.
Taylor Hall completely disappeared in this Islanders series. They took him out of his game, but I still would bring him back. I think he's good. Krejci still is a really good player, but you've got to get better. You've got to get faster, guys. And the bottom line is this. Now, I'm not really a hockey expert. You got to score goals, okay? The power play was atrocious. I mean, you've got to put the puck in the net. That is the bottom line. And they could not do it. This was not a good ending to the series, but I'm not taking anything away from the Islanders. They were the better team.
Oh, without a doubt. And they just dominated in every facet of the game. They dominated goaltending wise. They outcoached, as you said. They just straight out outplayed the Bruins. So clearly there's not enough talent here. And I just have absolutely no faith in Tuukka at this point that he can come through in one of these big playoff series and get you to the promised land. I think you definitely need a change in net. Jared, what were your thoughts?
I pretty much agree with. I mean, Andy said pretty much everything I wanted to say. I think the Tuukka thing is an interesting one because obviously Tuukka has been committed to this team for quite a while, and you can say what you want. Obviously, he didn't have a great postseason, but I think I said it before. I don't think there were definitely a lot of goals that I think were put on him that I think weren't actually his fault. I think some of it had to do with the defense as well. Obviously, we had some guys banged up defensively, and Andy talked about kind of finding some goal scorers. I think we need to make some changes defensively. Bringing some guys that really know how to clear the puck. I mean, this team had such a problem clearing the puck out of the zone that, would often lead to a turnover, and then boom, the puck is in the back of the net. You need probably, again, a good mix of experienced guys and probably some young guys defensively, but I think that's where probably some changes need to be made, and probably also up front as well. Pastrnak, like Andy said, had a great series, looked pretty good. Bergeron obviously isn't getting any younger, but obviously still plays at a high level. Everything Bergeron does, he does at a high level, whether it's set guys up, score goals, win faceoffs, get back on defense, which he's known for. But again, he's also not getting any younger, which isn't ideal. So, but yeah, I mean, I think you maybe need to make a move for, really a big name goal scorer or something, bring in a top line forward, or a really, really quality second line forward or something to play with Krejci and, some of these other guys, that you want to put on, put up on these first two lines. But again, I think it also comes down to depth, and there's also depth. Some of these teams that have, the Islanders have 4 really good lines or 4 lines that can get it done. If we're only becoming kind of a 2-line team really in the playoffs, or maybe 3-line team in the playoffs, what does that say? So, some changes need to be made for sure. Tuukka probably does need to go again, but yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this, because did Cassidy have a say in Tuukka starting? Because I'm starting to hear that this came from up top, and he was not happy about it. The guy was hurt. He had a torn labrum.
Yeah.
That is something that needs to be addressed, because
that is definitely something that needs to be addressed. I agree, because the fact that Swayman at least didn't get a chance. Swayman should have gotten a chance, whether it was for momentum or for Tuukka being hurt or for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But the fact that they started Tuukka still off, after crap games or, being hurt, whatever, I agree.
Does anyone have a stat on how goalies with rotator cuffs do in the Stanley Cup playoffs? Because I can't imagine they do well. And if you had a torn rotator cuff and it was forced from up top to start, that really that cuts off all authority that Cassidy had. And that could lead to a tremendous power struggle within the organization, which is never good. That usually leads to really bad seasons. So if that did come from up top, first of all, the head of the Bruins organization should be ashamed of themselves for forcing them to do that. But that could mean that we're going to have some rough years in Bruins land if that's the case.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, if I'm Cassidy, I'm a little ticked off. It's like, I'm supposed to be the coach. This guy was hurt. I mean, and listen, I'm not a big fan of Rask, but he was clearly hurt. I don't think they were winning the series regardless. Even if a Swayman went in, no, they weren't going to win the series. But
no, I agree, but at least put the guy into, at least give him a chance, give him an opportunity. Maybe he'll spark the team a little bit, Yeah.
But I will say this, that Islanders team was better than I thought they were.
Definitely. No question about it. No question about it.
They didn't get the respect they deserved. And listen, I said the Bruins were going to win in 7, but I think they just really wore them down. I mean, they did.
They absolutely did.
I will say this, and I'm not saying they're going to win this next series. They are not going to go away lightly against Tampa Bay. They're going to, and now they're going back into New York. That place, I'm going to say this too. That crowd was a factor. I told you guys,
electric.
I was more amazed.
Absolutely electric.
Those fans are crazy.
Yep.
They love that hockey team. I mean,
they do.
It played a role. Not saying that the Garden wasn't loud, but man,
they affected things, definily.
Well, you get a lot of the Bills fans, don't you, for the Islanders? and we know they're crazy. And
they were tailgating before the game. Oh my goodness, it's just it's a whole different level down there. But I'm just gonna say, don't be surprised if that team goes to the Stanley Cup. They have a shot. I'm not saying they're going to, but.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Tampa Bay is ultimately going to beat them, maybe in 6, but I don't think it's going to be easy. And it's going to be a war too. I don't know if you saw any of the game last night, but that was a war.
Was?
I mean, obviously Tampa Bay won, but there was some tussles. There was a lot of physicality.
Make it easy on you. It is, and I think they got in the Bruins' heads a little bit. I really do. I mean, look at Terrell Hall. He got into that altercation with a fan, that squirted water. You can't let that stuff bother you. You know what I mean? Like, I think they got overwhelmed. I mean, after Game 5, and it's just this team has got to get its act together, because you're, like Jared said, they're not getting any younger. Are they talented? Yes, there is talent on this team, but they're ultimately not good enough to win it all. And I think they should have made changes after they lost to St. Louis. I mean, they should have told you something right there. They don't seem to have the stamina to go late. And when the later the series go, I just don't think it favors them. I mean, it's just got to remember, when they won their cup 10 years ago, they were a lot younger. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it just
They had a better mix of. I think they had a better mix of guys on that team too.
Oh,
definitely.
Oh, of course. There were
the last point I want to make about the Bruins. The interesting one for me is actually Bruce Cassidy. I think Bruce Cassidy is obviously a really good coach and has proven that he can be a good coach. But do you have to start questioning now whether he's actually the right guy to lead this team?
Yeah.
Again, I don't think he deserves a lot of the harp, but at the same time, he was outcoached by Barry Trotz. There's no question about it. He was outcoached.
No question.
Every little move that Bruce tried to make, to adjust to something, Trotz had the answer. Trotz had the answer, and Cassidy then couldn't respond. With another move of his own, another adjustment or something. And I think I don't know. That's a tricky one for me. I'm torn kind of on whether Bruce should be the guy to actually lead this team or whether we need to find somebody else or what.
This was not a good series for him. I mean, no question about it, Jared. It was bad. And you got to remember, this team was up 2-1 at one point. Everyone's like, oh, they're smooth sailing. And then after game 4, it's like they just fell apart. I mean, really, they did.
Do you think he's going to be on the hot seat next year,
Yes,
Cassidy?
absolutely.
It could be.
Absolutely. He has to be. I was very surprised at this because up to this point, I actually do think he's a good coach. I kind of thought he was a no-nonsense type of guy. But this really, something's not right here. Like, and they have the right to be questioned because of this whole Rask thing. And I agree with Tom. It's just time. They gotta start over. I mean, really. I mean, it's not good enough. They're not good enough to get out of the second round.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, I put a ton of blame in this series on Tuukka. And if it was Cassidy's decision to start Tuukka in that game, what was it, game 6?
Yes.
Or was it game 5? I think it was game 5. Oh, 6.
5 and 6. Yeah, both.
If it was Cassidy's decision to start Tuukka with a torn rotator cuff, then Cassidy's to blame. If it was the front office forcing Cassidy to do it, I take a little blame off of Cassidy. I'm not saying he coached well in this series, but I think that Tuukka decision, especially in that last game, made a huge impact, and it wasn't a good impact. I think if you start Slayman, you kind of rejuvenate the team a little bit, and you have a healthy goaltender because Tuukka wasn't moving right. He just wasn't moving right. He wasn't quick. He was just ineffective. So whoever made that decision, I put the blame on them. And I don't know who it was. I'm not inside the organization there, but I think that's got to have a big part in who the blame is put on. But in any case, it was a bad ending to what was a pretty good year for the Bruins, really. A great turnaround. They started off the season pretty poorly, kind of subpar, and after the Hall trade, that rejuvenated things, and they ended up getting a pretty good playoff seed. But this Islanders team, they just straight out have the Bruins number. They dominated them all season long. They dominated them in these playoffs. They just have your number, and Bruins are just going to have to figure out a way around that because I don't think this Islanders team's going away. I think they're going to be competitive for quite a few years.
I think they are too, Tom. I agree with you.
I think what, we talk about, again, this team has to make some changes. I think what, even on top of that, even if this Bruins team does somehow get by the Islanders, they would have gotten smoked by Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to obviously be at the level where you can compete with Tampa Bay or something like that, be on that level at least. So again, I think that shows even more that you got to make some changes within the, whether again, it's on defense or in net or up front or whatever.
Andy's dog agrees.
Yes.
she wants her voice to be heard too.
I thought I heard I agree in that bark.
Oh yeah.
But that is very true. You have to compete with Tampa Bay if you want to win a Stanley Cup. Tampa Bay's not going away either. They're going to be competitive for a long time. And now that Tom Brady's in Tampa Bay, all the Tampa Bay teams are going to be competitive. But that's besides the point. But in any case, yes, the Lightning are very talented, arguably the most talented team in the NHL. So they are going to be hanging around for quite a few years. And this Tampa Islanders series should be a lot of fun. It should be a great series to watch. I think it's going to be very physical and a whole lot of good fights as well.
I think if Tampa gets some momentum, though, I think if Tampa goes in and beats the Islanders there this next game, though, I think you got to watch out, because then that could be Tampa in 5. Because once Tampa gets rolling, they're too good to, again, forget the crowd, forget how good the Islanders are. Tampa is too good, and I think if they win the next game decisively, I think you got to watch out for Tampa in 5.
Absolutely. And one other topic I wanted to touch on. We only got a few minutes left. And we'll certainly touch on this more in the future, was about Major League Baseball coming down on the pitchers, investigating pitchers for foreign substances. I think they said after June 21st or something like that, they'll be investigating pitchers for foreign substances. And that's because we've seen, already 6 no-hitters this year, and a lot of games where the pitchers just seem to have the advantage. What are your thoughts on this, guys?
All right. I kind of started looking into this a little bit because it's been obviously being talked about quite a bit. But I'm starting to wonder how long this really has been going on for, because I don't believe something like this starts overnight. I believe that it's been going on for a very long time. Now in the age of social media, you have people talking all the time. Stuff starts getting blurted out. And after that Garrett Cole press conference a few weeks ago, when he pretty much denied it, which I knew he was lying about it, I'm like, all right, something's going on here. And I read an article about this, just how the spin rate on the ball. Apparently, this is something that people have been computing and talking about. The Red Sox are 3rd. And how ironic that their pitching has been horrible for the last couple of weeks. Now, and here's another thing I have to mention. I have to bring it up. This does not look good for Alex Cora, okay? Because you can't, the whole sign thing, okay, maybe he didn't do it, but it just doesn't look good. Baseball does not need any more of this stuff, okay? They had the pine tar in the 80s, and you had the steroids, and now, I'm not saying this is anywhere near that, but it certainly does not look good. This sport does not need any more bad publicity, and they're getting it. How do you squash this now? And here's the other thing, too.
They went so wrong on the steroids thing, making a big deal of it, because that was the most entertaining baseball you've seen. I see why they'd make a big deal of this, because it leads to less entertaining games. There's no offense in a lot of these games.
Right. And when was the last time somebody hit 50 home runs in a season? I don't even know. I mean, and it's just, this does not look good. And one more thing I'm going to say is, I think the umpires need to be held accountable too. Have they been letting this go? Have they been turning a blind eye to this? And I know the pitchers use the rosin bag. I mean, that's sometimes they'll put Vaseline under their cap. I mean, that happens. But this does not look good. I kind of brushed it off for a while, but the more and more I'm reading on this, I don't think they can get this under control. I don't know if they want to get it under control.
Right. Jared, you have any thoughts? You got about a minute.
Yeah, no, I mean, just real quick. I mean, Andy kind of really hit it on the head. And I think the best point Andy just made is that this sport doesn't need any more bad publicity. Again, he made a lot of good points that obviously this is a sport that has had some bad publicity in the past with, again, the pine tar incidents. I mean, he brought up all the examples. To have this kind of come up now really, again, just doesn't look good for Cora. It doesn't look good for the sport. The sport just kind of needs to kind of be even keeled and just kind of go, positive, everything, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, to have kind of, a lot of negative publicity on the sport right now, just, is probably not good for Major League Baseball. And, it's not what the sport needs right now.
Right. And we'll be spending more time on this in the future, but that is all the time we have for today. A big thank you to Coach Simos. A big thank you to Jared and Andy for joining us. For everyone at HCAM, I'm Tom Nappy. Thanks for watching. Take care and be well.